playing some Overwatch again. I will say that things have been a little heavy recently. I'm not going to go into it, but life hasn't been super kind, and that's okay. But we're here playing some Overwatch. I thought about playing Overwatch Classic. I mean, I did play it when it came out yesterday. I personally didn't play it. I didn't play Overwatch until after a year since its release. So there was a lot of things that were already different by the time I started playing. And I also, it was like my first PC FPS. And I might be repeating myself because I don't often remember the things that I say, so you'll have to forgive me for that if I repeat myself. But I didn't start playing until a year after the release. I was mostly playing Chivalry before that, so very much not a shooty game. And I should also mention that I found out why my wrist hurts so bad. My keyboard is actually too small for my hands, and it was making my thumb, or I guess like the way I had to hold my thumb to press the space bar was like making it hyperextend, and it just kind of like, it wasn't very nice feeling. So I'm using a gamepad that my sister gave me like a long time ago, but for some reason I found it really hard to like customize the keybinds for some reason. I don't know, I think I just had really weird keybinds at the time. But it's better now and my wrist no longer hurts. So that's good. But actually, when I started playing Overwatch, I was playing with some people that I met in Chivalry, and I never actually really heard of Overwatch or anything. I knew nothing about it, but someone like let me use their account to see if it was something that I would want to purchase, because at the time $60 was a lot for me. A lot of the games that I had played were ones that like my brother and sister already owned. So, and then they were like done playing it, so I would play them. Oh. dropped. Don't mind me. I know that Anna was out in the game. I definitely didn't know what I was doing whatsoever. It actually took me a really long time to learn how to play the game. I did not play support. I played DPS. Yikes. I mostly played Tracer, but I was really not good at Tracer, which is fine, but I was playing comp with a friend a lot. After a while, and my teammates didn't like me playing Tracer. I was also a main. And that was interesting, I guess, because like I definitely could not aim. So I was really relying on the freezing part. I did play some tank. It was mostly Diva, but I tried to play DPS more because I didn't like support, and I also didn't like playing Mercy. The girlies are fighting. I am also a extremely big mass res hater. I hated mass res. That was one of the main reasons I didn't play Mercy. Sorry, it's just so funny that they're all mad at each other and they're not on the same team. And also my friend that I would play comp with, because they would like convince me to play, because they're like, oh, do you want to play comp? And I'm like, well, no, not really. But I would still do it anyways, because that's all they wanted to play, and that was honestly the only friend that I really had at the time. So they would exclusively play Mercy and would do the whole like, something bad's gonna happen, I'm gonna hide, I'm gonna get the 5-man res, and that, it honestly made me really angry. Which is why I'm glad it left, and also why I started playing Mercy when they changed her ult. And it was just something easier for me because I didn't have to think about aiming, but I could focus on like positioning and other stuff without having to worry about my aim as well. But I had many mains in the past. Played a lot of Orisa when she first came out. Spent a long time learning how to use Roadhog's hook. Because like Ryan Zarya was also something that it didn't happen a lot, but I feel like it happened enough. And I wasn't much of a main tank player. Not that Roadhog's a main tank, but it was just kind of like, how could I play tank without playing like Reinhardt, because I did not enjoy playing Reinhardt. Plus, I guess I also just wanted to learn how to do it. So I spent a really long time trying to figure out how to do that. I had my Widow phase. I think everyone has a Widow phase. I was not good at Widow either. And I mostly just played her in deathmatch. Oh dear. Ow. I wouldn't play comp alone though. I did eventually, but I don't think I'm much of a competitive person, I guess. Like, I definitely like winning, but it's not like super important to me. And I find it really frustrating not talking with people, but just trying to like calm with people, because generally every time I spoke someone would get mad. And it was just kind of like hard to play the game at the time without like communicating, because at least now there's pings, and I think pings are really helpful. I did manage to. Well, I would go through periods of like wanting to play comp and wanting to get better, and I would watch a lot of videos, and I would watch like streams, and I can't remember when, but once you could like review your own VODs, I would do that a lot too. And it also like helped me kind of realize like, yes, my teammates may be bad, but I am just as bad, if not worse. And it was kind of like one of those like, oop, like, am I the asshole? Yes, probably. Oh dear. But now I mostly just try to play for fun. I like quick play. I don't mind it. I actually much prefer it because people are less likely to get mad about it. And for a long time, I did like One Trick Mercy, like exclusively. I wouldn't really play anything else because I wasn't able to play anything else. But now I feel comfortable playing a lot of different supports. I just prefer to play Mercy the most because I have the most fun on Mercy. I don't mind DPS sometimes, but I would say I generally only play DPS if I'm playing with friends. And that's mainly because that's just the role it gives me. I queue for multiple roles and it just gives me DPS. I would say that my DPS has definitely got a lot better than it used to be. I'm a lot calmer now, so it's a lot easier to aim. And also, like, turn my sensitivity way down, so that helped, because mine was probably way too high. But Overwatch has been the one game that I've just kind of consistently played over the years. There had been times where like I didn't really want to play, or things were kind of boring, or it wasn't kind of giving me the same feeling that it used to give me. But it comes and goes, and I think breaks are okay. But I'm definitely the type of person that, like, when I like a game, it's like the only game I will play. And I will have moments of where I will play something else for like a week, or maybe like a month at the most, and then I'm back to Overwatch. And that's just kind of how I am. I will say that with like the Overwatch Classic, why do these look different? I just noticed that they just kind of look different. But I'm fine with 5v5. The only times that I kind of wish that there was 6v6 is if like 6 people wanted to play, but I would say that that's kind of rare these days. I think they probably could have kept it 6v6 with like the way they were like changing tanks and like adding new tanks. They definitely, I feel like they could have kept it that way when they launched Overwatch 2. I personally didn't feel strongly about it, and yes, I did buy this skin. I didn't think I would, but after seeing it in game, I'm kind of like, I'm just a girl who can't say no. And I would also argue that it was a bit of a retail therapy purchase. And I also got my Soldier Mythic. I haven't really played it much though, because I get the most frustrated on, well, I get the most frustrated on tank, but I try not to play tank unless absolutely necessary. I think it will be exciting though for like the game modes that they're bringing out, or bringing back, I guess. It would also be nice if they actually brought out skins for their characters. I don't personally understand why they don't. I know that they think likely that it's the only way they're gonna get money, or like if they just keep giving skins to like popular characters, and it's like, of course the Mercy main's gonna buy the Mercy skin. I think that's kind of a given. But I also think like there's a lot of skins for different characters that people would love, whether they're like, no matter who their main is. Like when they brought out that the Cupid Hanzo skin, I don't play Hanzo. Did I buy the skin? Absolutely. And like realistically, it's not the people who make the skins, it's like it's not their decision realistically. And I think that's kind of the annoying and disappointing part that like a lot of people feel frustrated about, because you know that likely there's a lot of like devs and artists that like want to bring, oh goodness, that was such a weird looking interaction. I didn't think it was going anywhere. It looked like it was stopping. But I am also just the kind of person that hopes for the best a lot of the time, and like wants to see the good in things and the good in people, and that could be naive of me or just like kind of delusional. But like the amount of time I spent trying to like waiting to see if they were going to come out with Overwatch 2. Like, I checked every day. I can't remember, like, what made me think. Like, I didn't check every day. Like, it was a very specific time, and I'm not sure what made me think that it was, like, coming out. But, like, I was watching and looking on, like, Twitter every day. Because for me, like, as kind of, like, silly as it sounds, it was a really big comfort for me, and, like, I met a lot of people who are, like, still my friends now, like, my best friends now. And it also just, like, came to me in a time of when, like, I wasn't really a nice person, and I was just really, like, unhappy with things in my life, and I didn't really know how to, like, change them or stuff like that. But I knew that, oh, there's someone on point. I liked playing, and it gave me comfort. And also just, like, being able to find people who thought a little more like me, because I grew up in a really small place, and it was just one of those things where this is not a good idea. I lost my train of thought. Oh, I think I grew up in a really small town where, like, everyone knew everyone, and like I didn't personally know everyone in my graduation class, but I could name everyone by their name, like their full name. And it was just kind of, I don't know. The only world I knew was the world that I grew up in. And yeah. And yes, I got the highlight intro. Yes, it looks kind of crap. It's cute though. And the thing that looks crap is, like, the cat is really low poly, and the animation seems a little weird, but it's for the culture. Plus, realistically, I don't know how to animate. I don't know how to texture or model, or, like, Blender makes me want to cry. Unity makes me want to pull my hair out. Mr. Ferret Man. Oh, they weren't lying about the gnome. Oops. My brain totally malfunctioned. I was like thinking of like a million different things I could be saying or typing and just couldn't. And then ended up saying weird things. But people usually call me Smelly Prius, Smelly Papyrus. Oh, I did not notice that, I did not notice they were using that skin. And I forgot when I started playing. So like 40 minutes ago. No, wait, I can't math. Well, basically. I was playing a little bit earlier with my friend, and they're from the UK, and we always get put on EU servers no matter what we do. I mean, if we play with more like NA people, it will like force NA, but I mean, at least it's not like terrible, I guess. Because the ping is pretty consistent. Unlike when I first moved into this apartment, there was like internet that they offered, and it was really bad internet, and like it wasn't, well, you could plug into the wall and then that would be like your Ethernet, but it was really bad. And I used to also stream on that internet. I have no idea how I did that, and it wasn't terrible, but it also wasn't great. And then eventually I ended up getting like my own internet, because I would be playing Overwatch and I would be in a comp game and they're like, our DPS sucks, and I'm like, I have 1,000 ping. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done it, but like I don't know what to tell you. I can't do anything, even if I wanted to. One thing that I did like about the classic was how fast you got your ultimate. I would like kill one person with Genji and I would have my ultimate. I am a part-time Genji enjoyer, I will not lie. This room is really dark. Ooh, we're all pressing Q. I really like the little bubbles on this little staff. Oh goodness, oh my goodness. I think I almost like fell in like the tiny little crack that was in between the boat and the ledge, and it was really scary. One hog to save them all. It's Mr. Yi. There are a few games that I am looking forward to actually playing, though. I will still play Overwatch, but I would likely divide my time across them, and I'm not sure if some of them would be like ones that I'd want to do ASMR for. I used to do other ASMR that was not on this channel, but it's a little harder for me to do that one these days, so I don't really do it anymore, and I just also don't feel super passionate about it like I did. I still love ASMR, which is why I'm doing this, but this is a lot easier for me and more manageable. But I am very much looking forward to Stranova, which is a third-person FPS. Well, I guess it wouldn't be FPS because it's not first-person, but third-person shooter that it has a Valorant game mode. I'm not a Valorant girly. I don't mind it in that one, but it's definitely not one that I would go out of my way to play. But I like their like deathmatch game mode, and they actually have a payload mode, which is which has maps that look quite similar to King's Row and Watchpoint Gibraltar. I was playing it and I was like, why does this seem so familiar? I just ate every single one of those storm arrows. It's also a gacha, which I'm not super into gachas. Oops. But the gachas are mainly for skins, like weapon skins or character skins. But I had a lot of fun playing it. I played it during the Steam Next Fest. I did try Fragpunk, but I'm not a tactical shooter person. There's also a battle royale. I'm also not a battle royale person, but this one is like a MOBA, like a top-down battle royale, similar to like Eternal Return, but it has other modes. Because, well, Eternal Return used to have other modes like duos and solos, but now it's just trios because not many people really play it, so they just can't do like the multiple modes. Is that the Hanzo from last game? But it's by some devs that I think used to work for Riot or work on like League. And I also don't like League. Because I don't like how, oh my, I don't like how long the games are. And I also just don't like, I've never heard that from Lucio before. I don't like minion farming. I liked Heroes of the Storm as a MOBA. I played that when to get the Diva and Genji skins. and I actually quite enjoyed it. But it's also very like team based, whereas I would say that League is like a team game, but individual performance really matters. Where I feel like in Overwatch you can't really solo carry. I don't. At least maybe that's not true, but maybe it's just because I'm not super good and I'm a Mercy. I'm not sure, but that's just how I feel about it. I actually like ARAM because it's still gives like the itch of like wanting to play like a top-down kind of game without spending 40 minutes losing. And it's not really necessarily like the losing part, it's kind of like playing against people who have played for a really long time and I've barely played, and it makes it just like really tough. Oh crap, I messed up. Teabagged him. He solo bladed him and teabagged him. People are so funny. I will play one more. And I have yapped a lot, but I think compared to the last video where I yapped a lot, feel like I'm talking at a more consistent level, so hopefully that is the case. And I also hope that like this gamepad thing still sounds good, because like I really like the sound of my other keyboard. This one's a little more clacky, I think, but like I think I need to use it unless I like want to give myself an injury. But I was probably also having pain in my hand because I was crocheting a lot, trying to get a lot of projects done, and I tend to underestimate how long something might take, And so then I end up like rushing or crocheting nonstop. And also, like, when I play with my friends, I will crochet in queue. And so that probably also didn't help. But since switching my keyboard, it has definitely helped. My hand hasn't hurt as much. Like my wrist and my thumb. My index finger still sometimes hurt because the way I crochet, I don't know, it kind of presses on my finger and like makes it bend a little bit because it's hypermobile. But I'm trying to work on it. It's also been kind of raining out. It's trying to snow, but it's not quite there yet. But the gutter or the roof outside my apartment, and it's like specifically my apartment, it like drips on the outside, and it drips onto like my little, I don't know what to call it because it's not a patio, but I guess just like the space outside my door, it like drips really badly when it rains a lot. And so I kind of have to like slide out of my apartment and then like stand to the side as I lock it so I don't get like dripped on too much. And also in the winter, if it decides to start like melting, it will drip onto the little pavement and it will create a really icy patch, which it's like, it is a death trap. I have fallen many a time. Oh goodness. I probably could ask them to like fix it, but I feel like it's one of those things where I could ask, but they're probably not going to do it. Plus, I'm not sure how much I care about it. Maybe if well, the hope is that someday I'll move out, but I'll move to a different place. But hopefully, or I will likely try to tell them before I leave, just because it's a pretty dangerous thing. was hoping I could get her. Red hearts are so funny. Accidentally ran into my mic. 'Cause I don't know if my sense is low, but I am also very much a wrist aimer. And so sometimes I have to And I also don't, well, I have a big desk, but I only use a very small part of it for aiming. And then I try to have my mic in a very specific spot so I can, so it's easier for me to see my monitor. Because it's not on like a mic arm or boomer, can't remember what they're called, but it's not on one of those. It has its own little stand, and it kind of covers like my ability not the furry, oh, they have 2 flyers. That makes sense though, considering the rat. And I would also say like Ryan too. Okay. That is it for me. and I guess just a little bit about me and my time playing Overwatch. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you found it relaxing. And I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe.